Amid the mounting protectionism, China remains committed to expanding and opening up. The Chinese government has recently removed all the restrictions on the foreign investment access in the manufacturing sector. How foreign businesses view this policy change and how they look at the Chinese market. In an interview with China Daily, Ola Källenius, chairman of the board of management of Mercedes-Benz, shares his views with us. China has a large automobile market in terms of both demand and supply, and Mercedes-Benz is a significant player in the Chinese auto market. How is China being positioned in Mercedes-Benz global strategy?
China is the biggest car market in the world, and for a globally leading company like Mercedes-Benz, naturally China is then also our biggest market. So over the many years we have grown and we have a strong position here. A lot of the Mercedes-Benz fans, loyal customer base, but we want to set ourselves up for growth into the future. So it's much more than just a market. We have a large production base here. Most of the Mercedeses that we sell in China are made in China. We have been continuously expanding our R&D activities, opened up a new, bigger R&D center here in Beijing 2 years ago, and we're also expanding our supply base and our tech partners. So it's a 360-degree strategy for Mercedes-Benz in China. Internally, sometimes we call it a home away from home.
The European Commission has initiated anti-subsidy probe on imports of electric vehicles from China. So, do you think the move is necessary? What's your take on this?
As far as Mercedes-Benz is concerned, and we, as the inventors of the automobile, we were one of the first companies more than 100 years ago to go internationally into the markets. And I think that has been the success story ever since. Opening up markets, taking down trade barriers, making competition free and open for all players. So my sincere hope is that as we discuss how a WTO-based trade order is developed further, that we don't take the route towards more protectionism, because that will not lead to economic growth, it will not create wealth. So we very, very clearly advocate for please reduce trade barriers, don't seek for ways to increase trade barriers, have a level playing field for all competitors around the world, and don't retract into an inward-looking focus. And that's my hope for this as well.
Okay. China and the EU remain each other's major trading partner. However, the European Commission unveiled a de-risking strategy to reduce the so-called risks associated with excessive dependence on China. So how do you think such a policy of de-risking or decoupling will affect businesses of European companies like Mercedes-Benz?
In fact, the choice that we are making for Mercedes-Benz in China and for China is we're going to increase our investments in China because we believe in the long-term prospects of this market. We also believe in the innovation ecosystem that you find here. So as I just mentioned before, we're increasing our R&D activities in China, for China, but also for the world. So our business strategy is to increase our footprint in China.
The China-EU summit will take place in the near future. If you got a chance to meet the leaders from both sides, what would you say to the policymakers?
Focus on win-win. Focus on the things that we can do together. There will be differences always in some matters between major powers and major economic regions. But look at what the recipe for success was over the last 30 years, as we have had a WTO-driven opening up of markets. Look at the success story of China opening up. And I could see some comments this week from the president that China will continue to open up. I think that is the only way forward, because capital and investment will seek opportunity. And if you open your markets and you make your markets more attractive to investment, you will attract more capital and you will then create jobs and economic growth.
The Chinese government remains committed to opening up. President Xi Jinping announced at the Third Belt and Road Forum for International Cooperation that China will remove all restrictions on foreign investment access in the manufacturing sector. How do you view this change? Is it good news for foreign businesses?
I think it's good news for any company, and I think it's also good news for China. Any one entrepreneurial unit, any one company that seeks to expand their business, invest capital, they will look at the circumstances in the economic regions. What's the risk? What's the return? If you start removing barriers, you lower the risk and you increase the chance for return. So that particular move by China to open up even more, I think is a smart move. And I believe it could lead to more foreign direct investment and perhaps also more opportunity for us at Mercedes-Benz.
So do you have any plans for the expansion or further investment in China?
We have a very strong relationship with our joint venture partner here in Beijing, BAIC. And speaking to them, we are now looking at the next generation technologies. So what are the next generation electric vehicles that we have in development? What supply base do we need to use to make sure that we have the best technology for Mercedes customers going forward? How do we develop the digital offering in the car? So yes, on a broad range of activities, we are expanding and investing into the future.